What's happening, everybody? First off, before I kick off what I'm about to say, and the reason why I'm doing this video, is I just want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. Have fun, enjoy yourself, your friends, your family, all you wild butt folk out there popping them things, aka them firecrackers, you know what I'm saying? Make sure, that, wherever you doing it at, just be aware of the innocent bystanders that are coming by your way. We won't want, any serious tragedies going on this day of jubilation, I would say. So, happy 4th of July. What do you think? Okay, now, the reason why I wanted to do another video, oh yeah, by the way, this is Intergalactic Brew, but you already knew that, right? I don't need to introduce, excuse me again. I don't need to introduce myself, because y'all already know who I am. I've been doing this thing for a minute now, so I'm just going to come on and I'm just going to get straight to the nitty gritty, or get down to business. Okay, so I want to talk about UFC 132, right? Because I truly believe this is probably one of the rare UFC cards that you can truly say lived up to every single expectation. I mean, like, it was so much drama and so many surprises on this pay-per-view. Like, I can't even begin, like, where to tell you, the feeling I had. Or not even the feeling, but, how pumped up I was about this pay-per-view. Even after, like, I know it's kind of like in the past now because it's 3 days gone by, or technically 2, I should say. But anyway, like, this pay-per-view was off the chain. Like, seriously. And a lot of people are dubbing this pay-per-view from the UFC as the pay-per-view of the year. I can't do nothing but agree with you, bar none. Like, seriously. I mean, this pay-per-view here, when you look at the fights, okay, for example, Tito Ortiz, Ryan Bader. Tito Ortiz, all the weight of the world is on this man's shoulders. This man is pretty much like Atlas at this point. Like, this dude has got, the UFC and the whole MMA fan nation on his shoulders right now. He has to carry all of this with him into this fight with Ryan Bader. Because if he loses this fight, not only is he fired from the UFC, but his legacy is ruined, and maybe even his reputation. Okay, so it was a lot of high stakes in that match as far as Tito was concerned. Then you had Vanderlei Silva and Chris Lieben. Okay, it may not have been the 3-round slugfest or Donnybrook that we all expected, but just the anticipation coming into that fight, just to see Vanderlei Silva back in the octagon again, and this fight for Vanderlei Silva was really kind of that crossroads fight to see if he was still relevant, not only in MMA, not only in the UFC, but in the middleweight division, you know. And then, you know, Dominic Cruz. This was, you know, a fight for him to show, can he really stake that claim to being the best, 135 pound or 45 pound fighter in the world? Is he the best bantamweight on the planet? Is what I'm basically trying to say. And this fight with Uriah Faber, a former world champion, probably, if not in the top 3, at least the top 5 featherweights of all time, you know. And for Dominic Cruz, he was trying to erase what was basically, you know, a learning experience that happened to him in 2007. So the question for Dominic Cruz coming into this fight was, you know, 2007 a learning experience? Or was it actually the simple fact that Dominic Cruz cannot beat Uriah Faber? Bottom line. So basically it's beat Uriah, or as they say in the sports world nowadays, bust. So, you see what I'm saying? Just all of those storylines for those 3 main fights, you know, it's just, you just get a certain emotion for that type of stuff, you know? And I think that's what this UFC pay-per-view particularly was all about. It was all about the emotion. It was all about the atmosphere behind those 3 fights. And you know what? They completely, you know, just exemplified, you know, what a pay-per-view like that is supposed to mean. So that's why I say, man, I agree with everybody else. This pay-per-view here, UFC 132 so far, it's got my vote for pay-per-view of the year as far as MMA is concerned. Or maybe in all of pay-per-view events, sports-wise. But anyway, enough of the sentimental stuff. Let's get down to the analysis and, you know, the actual recap of the event. Okay, first fight, which we had Carlos Condit and Dong Young Kim. Now, surprisingly, I didn't think this was going to be actually the first fight to open the pay-per-view. I actually thought it was going to be Matt Wyman and Dennis Siver to open the pay-per-view. But be that as it may, Dong Young Kim, Carlos Condit opened the pay-per-view. I kind of figured what Carlos Condit was going to do. I mean, I even said it in my predictions video. You know, if Carlos Condit, you know, could just move around, use the leg kicks to set up different things, you know, he could catch Dong Young Kim off guard. Because I think the reason why a lot of dudes were not able to figure out, you know, this aggressive, dominant style of Kim was because they just stayed in front of him. They stayed stationary. They stayed planted. They didn't move around. They didn't, you know, throw any type of feints or, you know, use good angles or circle or, you know, try to set up, you know, the big shots with leg kicks or jabs or nothing like that. I mean, they didn't do that. I mean, they were just in awe of, first of all, his size, and then second of all, you know, just this fast-paced, aggressive judo style. And I knew that Carlos Condit would kind of be cut from a different cloth, and I knew that he would be that one opponent that could match Dong Young Kim and that could avoid all of those dangers that he brought into the fight. And then on top of that, you know, Carlos Condit is well-rounded as well. You know, people forget about that. I mean, I wasn't saying that as in Dong Young Kim was well-rounded, because I mean, technically he's not. You know, I mean, his striking is, you know, it's improving, but you know, it's not the caliber of Carlos Condit though. But you know, I was just saying that's what being a well-rounded fighter does for you. You know, that's the payoff. You know, you really get to kind of choose your own fate. You know, and Carlos Condit, he basically had the right strategy. You know, he stayed active. You know, he didn't stay planted on his feet. You know, he set up, you know, the punches with the leg kicks. You know, he used even the front kick, the teep. Although he did get taken down early in the fight, I knew if he got taken down, as long as he scrambled and attacked from the bottom, I knew he'd be all right. And you know, that's exactly what happened. You know, he was scrambling. You know, he was punching. He was trying to elbow him from the bottom position, and eventually he was able to get the sweep and actually get on top of Kim, and was actually you know, controlling Kim there for a minute before Kim scrolled out of the Carlos Condit's mount position and got back, you know, to the feet. And then from there, it was pretty much a done deal. I mean, you know, Carlos Condit, you know, made Dong Young Kim commit. He came in on the inside, and bam, bam, double flying knee, a couple of punches after that, match is over. So I pretty much had I pretty much had confidence that Carlos Condit could KO Dong Young Kim. I mean, you just have to you know, use you know, the right movements and stuff. You know, especially, you know, if the guy is not fast and you know, quick or anything like that. But yeah, it was a good win for Carlos Condit. I think this has catapulted him, you know, into the group of top contenders in the welterweight division. I don't know if he should get the winner of GSP, Nick Diaz, just yet. I think give him maybe one more fight against the top contender, maybe like a Thiago Alves or even Josh Koscheck, or you know, even have him get the winner of John Fitch, BJ Penn. I mean, you know, we'll see what happens though. But he's definitely, you know, in the combo for top contender for the welterweight championship. I mean, if he wins his next fight, there's no doubt he is next in line for a shot at the championship, regardless of who the champion is. And I have spent way too much time on this fight, so I'm not going to even try to beat this time here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually finish the rest of the fights that I want to talk about in another video. So y'all stay glued to your seat, because it's coming at you right now.